Salutations to foes. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming to you to have another conversation, to enlighten you, to share some perspective, to empower you, and to just, make you feel good. But today's topic isn't really a feel-good topic. It's an observation and a perspective, and there's going to be a little bit of yelling. Just wanted to give you the preface of this. I've been very, very busy. I've had a lot on my plate lately. I'm building other platforms after being on Instagram successfully for 6 straight years exclusively. I didn't do or build any other platform while I was on Instagram. I just stayed on Instagram working like a crazy man. And now I have started to build TikTok, and I've started to build, Facebook and LinkedIn and all these other platforms, and not just Instagram. So that's where I've been. YouTube as well. That's where I've been. But I'm going to share a story with you today. This is once again, something that I actually experienced, something that I actually saw today, and I want to talk about it. So let me just first start by telling you what happened. Okay. So I went to the store today with my grandmother, the Queen Mother, the Duchess of Slay. Gotta say her whole name. And it was a wholesale place. So everything was larger than usual. Bigger boxes of cereal, bigger boxes of cupcakes, bigger boxes of bread. Everything is like wholesale price. It's wholesale price, but discounted to us, but it's wholesale items, I mean. So as I'm standing in line, and I am a big believer in self-checkout, thank God for self-checkout. I'm standing in line, and there is a couple standing in front of me. And they are black. And the girl, is ringing the things up, putting them in the cart. The man, he had to be about 6'4", beard, dressed with baseball cap, black on, gold, whatever. He's standing there. While this woman that you can clearly see, because he's standing pretty close to her, that they are an item. So he's standing there, and I'm watching her ring up all of the groceries herself. First red flag. Then I'm watching him step around to the side, kind of like where the cart is. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just observing. I watch her go to pay for the groceries. And I observe that he doesn't go in his pocket for anything. But this is the thing. Now, I'm standing in line next, and I'm pretty patient because I've learned to be patient. I work for myself. It's a blessing. I didn't have to have the ability to not have to run to a 9 to 5. This is a blessing to me, and I'm grateful for it. But I noticed something. So she goes to pay for her order, and her card only takes up to a certain amount. Now, these were debit cards. These were not access cards. These were not anything. These were debit cards and credit cards. So she puts half the order on one card, and then has to pull out another card to finish paying for the rest of it. So I'm like, okay, all right. I'm looking at this, and thank God for wearing a mask, because I have a tendency that when I am passionate about something, excited about something, angry about something, frustrated about something, it shows on my face. And I'm only 5'11". He was 6'4". And he was like 200 pounds. I'm 160, 170, soaking wet. So I just was glad I had a mask on, because I was really like showing on my face my distaste and disdain for what he was doing. So she finishes paying, and I already make a mental note about this. And then she has to push the cart. And I mean, this cart was full to capacity. This cart was not just a little bit of full. This cart was a lot of bit of full. So I'm already annoyed about that. So get this. They get out of the store before me because, you have to show your receipts and different things like that. And I had to take my time and buy my 3 items because I had 3 items. So as I'm coming out the store, now that was an African-American couple. I observe a Caucasian couple. Now get this. This is a grandmother. And clearly you could tell that the man with her is her son. Now, she has, and he's an older son. He's an older son, 40 maybe. No, because I want you to understand she was older, like much older. So get this. He is in front of her as they walk out the store. She not only is pushing the cart behind him, but her grandbaby, his little girl, her grandbaby is in the cart. So she's pushing a cart full of groceries and her grandchild. And he's standing in front of the cart, walking forward, didn't look back to make sure she was okay. Nothing. Not a thing. So naturally, being me, I have learned not to cause a scene. So I didn't cause a scene. I observed. It made me very, very angry. And I got out of the store, walked to my car, and then getting in the car with my grandmother, I exploded because I was just so angry. And I told my grandmother about it. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with men? That was the first question I asked. What the fuck is wrong with men? My grandmother said, baby, you can't just look at what the fuck is wrong with men. You have to ask yourself, what the fuck is wrong with women? So I was like, okay, I understood. And I started to listen to my grandmother. And this is what she said. She was like, listen, women that turn around and put up with any kind of treatment from a man just to have a man, they have a lot of low self-esteem, and you have to understand that. They know they deserve better, but they fear that they will never find better. They know that they deserve better, but they fear that they are, not as appealing as some of the young, quote unquote, competition out here. So they will do, this is my grandmother, she said they will put up with a bunch of things in order just to have a man, including share him. My grandmother went on to say there is no reason why a woman should be in her home stressing about bills and she's laying next to a man. The purpose of a man is to assist, is to help. He doesn't have to pay all the bills, but he has to assist and help. It's to take care of women. Now get this. I'm homosexual. I've been homosexual all my life, but I have a huge, huge problem with women not being respected and taken seriously and loved and cherished. Now I'm going to open up about some things. For the last 15 years of my life, my grandmother has basically foot the bill because I'm diagnosed bipolar type 1, PTSD, and acute anxiety disorder. This meant that I couldn't work a normal job. I went to psychiatry, and my psychiatrist was the one that said, listen, you're so young. You're not going to throw away your life. You don't have to just give up. Use your talent. So I want to say somewhere around year... around year 14, around year 12, I want to say. Yeah, 12. Actually, probably before that, around year 10. Yeah, around year 10. I started to launch, the Queen of Shade as my psychiatrist urged me to do. And things started to take off. Unfortunately, I didn't have my own money. So my grandmother graciously and against the urging of my family took me to her bank, cashed in her IRA that she had had for almost 40 years while she worked. And it was supposed to be her retirement. She closed her IRA. I didn't know what we were there at the bank for. She closed her IRA. And she gets a check, 6-figure check, because she's leaving the bank. She's like, I don't want my money here. I'm going to do other things with my money. They're trying to talk her out of it, et cetera, et cetera. She closes that IRA and her account at the same time. He gives her a check. We proceed to walk out of the store, out of the bank. And she hands me a check for 6 figures. And I looked at her and I said, This is too much. This is too much. I can't take this. And she looked at me and she said, listen, I believe in you. She said, and when I believe in something, I'm willing to stake claim in it. I'm willing to invest in it. And she handed me a check for 6 figures. And that is why the internet and the world have the Queen of Shade today.